my name is Mark Gorman. I tell everyone I'm not from the South. I got here as quick as I could. I graduated college from Eastern Illinois with a bachelor's degree in finance. Came here, got involved in the healthcare business, spent 30 years as a hospital owner-operator, had the opportunity to retire early, and now give back in the form of public service to both the citizens of Brentwood as the mayor and a commissioner, and then also to the county as a reserve deputy. The way that I became the mayor of Brentwood is through the election process. I have to be a commissioner first, and then by a vote of majority of the commissioners, we decide who's going to be the mayor and the vice mayor. It's my distinct honor and privilege to be the mayor of Brentwood. So there are 7 commissioners in the city of Brentwood. Right now we have an election going on for 3 spots. There are 5 people running for the city of Brentwood. There are 2 different terms that run within the city. Each is a 4-year term, but they're staggered. So I'm on a 3-seat 4-year term. 2 years from now, there will be 4 commissioners up for another 4-year term. Early voting starts at the end of April, and then election day is May 6th. You can cast up to 3 votes, but I would tell folks that if you don't feel strongly about other candidates, you only have to vote for who you feel strongly about. Since 2023, we have not had a spill of raw sewage into the Little Harpeth River. I believe that the best amount of raw sewage to spill into the environment is 0 gallons. Prior to 2023, we were spilling between 5 and 6 million gallons a year of raw sewage into the Little Harpeth River. Gross. Well, that's what happens when you overrun your infrastructure. When you overrun your infrastructure, you negatively impact the quality of life. The river is now healthy. It's taken a couple of years for it to get back, but it's vibrant and beautiful and healthy. But the apartments that were built in Brentwood were part of the cause that caused us to overrun our infrastructure. When I was first elected in 2013 and I introduced a ban on high-density housing, shortly thereafter I had 13 false sworn affidavits filed against me with the district attorney of Williamson County, claiming I had formed an illegal political action committee. That was forwarded to the state of campaign ethics and finance, only to be thrown out because there was no proof out there. But at that moment in time, I realized how much money there was to be made from changing zoning in Brentwood. Now, all of a sudden, Mark Gorman stands in the way of being able to have hyperdevelopment in Brentwood. And so a smear campaign was launched against me. Many of my fellow commissioners said, "Hey Mark, you need to consider changing that word ban. It's too harsh." And I said, no, it's intended to be very direct. I was very intentional with that. We don't want high density housing in Brentwood, period, end of story. I am one that tends to not complain about things. I tend to get involved and take a stance. What was going on is they had already brought the Tapestry apartment complex into Brentwood. 392 apartments on 8 acres. Brentwood is based on 1 home per acre. That would have been 8 single-family homes. So do the math, 392 versus 8. So you start to have all of these infrastructure issues. The way that they were going to account for the increase in traffic, they were going to restripe the lanes. They couldn't widen the lanes, but the traffic engineer came out and said, we're going to restripe the lanes and make them more narrow. I don't know if people have seen the pickup truck that I drive. It's a big truck. And then there's all kinds of big Suburbans and SUVs, that type of thing. That wouldn't work. That was the craziest thing. But that is the push that was on. If I'm not reelected, there is significant chance and probability that zoning will change. What I'll tell you about politicians is they will tell you whatever it is you want to hear to gain their vote. My track record is very clear. It is very straightforward, and it is 100% against any upzoning at all, period, end of story. Some of my challengers, if you look at their track record, they will tell you that they vote against high-density housing. However, every opportunity that they've had, they've voted in favor of high-density housing. The reason this local election in Brentwood matters to everyone in Williamson County is it has to do with density. We, Brentwood, are positioned between multiple municipalities that embrace hyperdevelopment. Brentwood stands in the way of that. We are unapologetically Brentwood. But if you look, growth does not pay for itself. The expenses outrun the revenue growth. We don't want to become the next Davidson County. Please keep your hands off of Williamson County. You need to have balanced and responsible growth. Brentwood hasn't had a tax increase in 34 years, and we are going to hold that line. Top priorities are public safety. If people aren't safe and they don't feel safe, the rest doesn't matter. Second is zoning, which ties into all of the infrastructure. Roads, traffic, water, sewer, schools. We don't control the schools, however, we're stakeholders in the schools. If we increase the zoning, that causes overcrowding, it causes kids to be rezoned. And then finally, financial management. Brentwood has AAA bond rating and a long history of strong financial management. That's my background, and I'll continue to be a strong financial manager for the residents of Brentwood. So it's election season right now, and I would tell you don't believe everything that you read online and stay focused on what really matters in Brentwood. There's a lot of noise out there, and the noise is meant to distract you from what the real issues are. This is about zoning in Brentwood. To the residents of Brentwood and Williamson County, it's been my distinct honor to serve as one of your commissioners and the mayor of Brentwood for the last 2 years. I also enjoy my role as a reserve deputy for the county. It's truly an honor and a privilege to be able to serve with those that put themselves in harm's way to keep us safe. A vote for me is a vote for keeping our quality of life where it needs to be, where it has been.